No. Let's try something else. Hit it, Joe.
Three idiots sharing memories with fans who watched the show. It's the best of both our worlds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Best of Both Our Worlds, the official, unofficial Hannah Montana podcast. A show where three friends share stories about Hannah Montana with the fans so they get a chance to see the other side of the best damn Disney show ever.
True.
That's true. I am one of your hosts. I am Jason Earles. I play Jackson Rod Stewart. I have to yell it every time. It's in the contract. I'm one of the hosts, and I'm here with two of my really, really great friends, Doug and Shannon. Please introduce yourselves to the humble audience.
Shannon.
All right, I'm Shannon Flynn. I was the acting coach on the show, as well as the director for several of the episodes across all 4 seasons.
The best episodes, I would say.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
He's lying, but he's
Dougie, go.
I am Douglas Danger Lieblein, because, Danger's my middle name, I have to say it, and I'll tell that story at another time. Okay. I was one of the writers and co-executive producers for 100 episodes of that show. I lived 5 years of my life with these people.
As did I.
Yeah, and all of your episodes were pretty good.
Definitely had some.
Okay.
That is more the truth than anything.
That's true.
I aim for pretty good in everything in my life.
That's right.
Okay, so you guys, we
Just
have
like
a
a
little
white
bit
guy.
of just sort of business to take care of here at the top.
Right.
Let's let the audience know why now? Why are we doing this now?
Hi.
Doug?
It's the 20th anniversary of the premiere of the show. That's sort of the stated thing. But I think more than anything, Jay and I had talked about this for a long time, is I've worked 25 years in half-hour television. Jay, you've done a ton of shows. I've done a ton of shows. Shannon's done a ton of shows. Every room I walk into, every party I go to, every time I meet someone new, all they want to talk about is, what was it like on Hannah? How was that show? How was that experience? And Jay and I had talked for a while about, wouldn't it be great? I tell the how Dolly Parton defended me, had my back with her front, how she defended me to the network. I tell that story endlessly because it's an amazing story and one of the greatest moments of my life, but I tell it over and over. Wouldn't it be great if we had one big party where we just told the stories once and then never had to tell them again?
Oh, so it's the cranky old man reason. Get off my lawn, I don't want to tell that story again.
I'm just going to send you a link.
Watch episode 103.
Is that how I sound to you?
Yeah.
No.
But look, this is the party, and you are all invited to our big party, right?
We got the party in us.
And we're just 3 idiots telling our stories and our time on Hannah, and you're just here. And if you don't want to be here, you go to the other room of the party and make out.
Stop telling the people to go. We just started. Don't tell them to go someplace.
I understand not wanting to listen to me.
So one of the things, too, is that this is going to happen a lot with Doug, is that we just need you to know from the very beginning, this is not officially sanctioned by Disney, Disney Channel, or any of its affiliates, or It's a Laugh production.
That's correct.
These are the memories that we are sharing with you.
3 idiots.
As we remember them, 2 idiots and a very lovely human.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And these are as we remember them.
Yeah.
Right. Look,
and our memories aren't perfect.
No.
Yeah.
And there are other...
And you'll see that our memories are not perfect.
We have different versions of the same story, I'm sure.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah.
but that's the joy of this, is it's all of our worlds, right? The audience, you have yours. You have your experience and your expectations of what, Hannah was, you know? And we have ours, and we just want to share ours with you so that we now are...
Yeah.
So Jason,
yeah.
why us?
Why us?
Why
That's
our
an excellent question,
What
Shannon.
about us?
A couple of reasons. The first reason is, I think we can all agree that the best version of the show would probably be hosted by Miley and Emily.
Yeah, sure.
I would assume we
They
could
would
all...
be far better to look at than us.
Significantly better. But the fact of the matter is, of all of the cast members, I'm the only one who wanted to do it.
This is true.
Just straightforward, that's what it is. And it's not for any bad reasons. They are all really busy.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of stuff going on. And I think that all of them would agree that even if they wanted to do the podcast, they probably don't have the time to devote to it to do it the right way. So that's such a nice way of saying I'm the one that wanted to really do this.
Right. Yes.
The other thing too is I think we have to acknowledge the fact that all these kids grew up on the show, right? And so when the show ended, they were just entering young adulthood. They were trying to figure out what was next for their careers. And it is a really big leap to try to not be known as that kid from Hannah Montana or that kid from Wizards of Waverly. Like, there's a lot of effort that goes into like kind of breaking out of that and finding your next step. Sure. And everybody in the cast worked really, really hard at that. And so it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't necessarily want to like go all in on doing this every week and talk about the show, right? That's just like the reality of it. I don't think it means that they didn't like the show or that they have any like bad feelings towards the fans or any of that stuff. It's just a matter of, I don't worry about that stuff, and I'm excited to sit here and goof off with two of my friends and just tell dumb stories. And also, we're not getting any younger.
No,
so
true.
We're going to do a couple of different kinds of episodes. What can people sort of expect from the show?
Well, they can expect that we're going to do sort of an episode-by-episode memoir of our time. We're
not a rewatch.
Today we're talking about the pilot, but like...
Right, yeah. Today we do the pilot.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about our memories of making the pilot or what our reaction was to seeing the pilot, what we did right, what we did wrong, what we do different.
All that.
So we'll have episodes that go, through Hannah episodes, but we will also do episodes where we just have guests on. People who either were on the show, other writers, other actors, other directors, or people who were just affected by the show.
I remember meeting Sabrina Carpenter for the first time, and she had mentioned that growing up watching Hannah was one of the reasons that she wanted to get into performing and being a singer.
I'm sorry, you dropped that name.
I've got like 900 more names.
Okay, this floor is going to be full of.
Yeah, but I'm actually really excited about those episodes because that is like we have our imperfect memories, and these people will have their own perspective as well, and it'll be really fun to sort of compare notes and sort of see where it goes.
Right. There are parts of the process that Doug did that we don't know about. Parts of the process that I did that Doug doesn't know about.
I'm so bored now. We're done with the intro. Let's start talking about stuff. Show's 20 years old now. I don't know if people know this.
I know.
20 years old now.
Great. So Jason, do you have a sweet niblet?
I don't think that's how it sounds, but my sweet niblet for this episode is, it's a little bit of a trivia question that we'll answer at the end. The question is, what was the Disney Channel original movie that preceded the premiere of Hannah Montana? I know you know. Now, the bonus points for anybody that knows how many people actually watched the pilot. I actually know the ratings.
Okay. I don't know that. I do know what the most watched episode of Hannah was.
I do too.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll get there. However,
Snoop Doggie,
stay tuned.
What's your sweet niblet for this episode?
Well, we on Hannah loved our titles.
Yes.
We always had a song title as one of our episode titles. So here on the podcast, we thought it would be cool.
On what?
Here on the podcast.
On the one what?
On the podcast. Babao. On Babao. We're calling it Babao.
Look,
the best of both our worlds. Babao. Here on Babao.
You know what's so annoying is like we literally talked about this before, and he was so excited, like we're gonna call it Babao, and people are gonna buy the T-shirt. It's gonna be awesome. And literally, I try to set him up to say Babao, and the dude's just like the pilot. You're killing me, Doug.
I would have gotten there, but I would have gotten
in
there
40 minutes. We would have had to cut half the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, on Babao.
Okay, on Babao.
Hashtag Babao. On Babao, we thought we'd have cute titles too. So the title of this episode is Disney, Do You Want to Know a Secret About Jason? And we will find out as we go through this episode. We haven't even begun the episode yet, guys.
I know, the pilot is called Lilly, Do You Want to Know a Secret?
That was the title of the pilot and the title of our
You'll
podcast.
see how clever this is later.
This is the perfect segue for you to talk about what the actual synopsis of the show was.
Oh, the actual...
Well done. It's almost
the actual... I have to
put your old man glasses on and read the synopsis.
I know, I take the old man glasses off to read, believe it or not.
Dude, you are master.
And by the way, whoever printed this out made it really easy. When Miley's best friend Lilly buys 2 tickets for them to see a Hannah Montana concert, it's big trouble for Miley because she is secretly Hannah Montana.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Miley thinks she solved her problem by passing off her tickets on her other best friend Oliver, but when Lilly breaks into Hannah's dressing room and finds a wigless Hannah, Miley is forced to admit she's secretly the world's biggest pop star. Dun dun dun. Act break.
You were never on camera talent?
Shut up. You dropped this down here too.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
All right. No, guys. Tensions bubbled not just between Jason and I, but between the two besties when Miley worries that Lilly won't keep her secret. But in the end, Lilly assures Miley that she will because Miley's her best friend, not Hannah. It was very sweet. Meanwhile, Miley's brother Jackson uses the shit out of his connection to Hannah for his own creepy benefit.
I just want to say that literally, like, the most important thing that was going on in my life at that time, you boiled down to one sentence that ended with his own creepy benefit. That is not what was going on. He was a teenage boy who was just using his connections to Hannah to meet girls. Total normal teenage thing to do.
What really happened?
Okay, so look, now that our memories have been refreshed, we know what the episode is about. Doug, you start off. Just tell you had a unique perspective. You had a sort of a different experience with the pilot.
Okay,
so what was your?
What we're doing is we talk about what we do remember, and then after we've seen the episode, we have sort of this flood of memories.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Like the good storytelling, let's show them instead of tell them.
If this episode ends in me punching Jason in the face, just know
you
that
wouldn't think
it's
I would have to
justified.
explain that to a writer. Just show, don't tell, do.
If I storm out at any moment. Okay, so my perspective on the pilot is different because, as you said, I didn't work on it. And here's a little backstory. Strap in.
I'm going to get a drink.
You guys just go get a drink. No, okay, so after watching the pilot, all of my memories and my experience came back, but mine's different than yours because you guys were there that week. And I came into the process a little later. Now, for those of you who don't know how sort of the entertainment process works with pilots, very briefly as I can. The network and studio will develop this idea, they'll write scripts, they'll decide which of the scripts they want to use, and then they will cast and shoot a pilot. But one episode, just that pilot episode, when they decide, you know what, we're picking the show up to, we're committing the money, we're going to pick it up, then they hire the writing staff and all the creative team to sort of help mold the clay moving forward. And when I was watching the pilot of Hannah, I was really afraid because it's a kid's show and it's going to be, it's going to be big and cartoony.
Yeah.
It was a daughter and a father talking to each other.
Yeah.
There was a real moment. You, as goofy and big as you were and as screechy as Emily was, and I love Emily and she's an amazing actress, here's the thing, she made that screechy real.
Yeah.
You made that silliness real. And I thought to myself when I was sitting in that room, I have to work on this show.
Yeah.
This is lightning in a bottle. I cannot believe they got a Disney Channel show to be this grounded and this real.
Yeah.
And then I walked out into the meeting with these executives, and I'm telling them how much I love it. I'm telling them what I would do, that first season, and the meeting is popping and it's going great. And they're great executives, and I love them. And they look at me and they say, "So when do you think we should take the wig off? When should she reveal her secret?" And I'm like, "Okay, this is a trick question. This is not happening." And I said, "Never. That's the show, guys. She's never taken the wig off." And they were like, "No, it's like 3 episodes, like 5. She can't. It's a wig. It's a blonde wig. You can't do that for 100 episodes, can you?" And I thought they're going to ruin. They have lightning in a bottle.
There's nothing worse than knowing that there's a great idea and you're literally watching the train coming down the tracks, going like, "Oh my God, they are going to break this."
Right. Now, okay.
It's the worst feeling knowing "Oh, there's something so good here."
So this was one of those instances where we later learned they really didn't want her to take the wig off. They had a different problem that they needed to address. But at that moment, I thought, what a shame. I thought, what a waste of talent. And I walked out. And that was my memory of watching the pilot was all about that meeting.
Yeah. But you saw potential in the whole thing early, even though it's screechy kids and it's sort of rough and it wasn't all sweetened with the music and the all the bells and whistles.
For me, the core of it. Look, you can do anything if you have the right core, right? First of all, the idea was great.
Yeah.
Because look, everyone thinks Hannah Montana is about this girl who has this big secret. She's a pop star. It's not.
It's not.
It is about two friends. It is about, no offense, but it is about Emily and Miley and what happens when one of your friends has a secret and you've got to keep your best friend's secret and how do we manage that relationship, right? It's a story about two girls who are, sisters by choice. And the pilot had that emotional core. You could be as silly and as goofy as you want as long as you come back to that. And it had it. It was, and look, watch television. There's not a lot of that out there anymore.
Yeah, I recognize. I feel like I recognized that really early as Jackson, because I did a lot of insane stuff on the show.
Yeah.
Genuinely, what is this kid's problem? But everything that I did, I always felt like it was grounded in a real choice for him. He was a real kid. He just had really unorthodox ways of going about getting what he wanted. But everything made sense in the context of the character. So he could do anything, and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
And that was absolutely true for all of the characters across the board.
And I think I mentioned this later, but I think the key to all of that is Billy Ray. Billy Ray is not the most skilled actor I ever worked with, but Billy Ray is probably the best like kids TV dad in the history of television. He's so grounded, he's so normal, he's so loving, but not infallible. He's not stupid. A lot of times like kid show parents are really dumb. He like let the kids make their mistakes. He was there to catch them when they 100%. Fell. And we could be as dumb as we wanted around him, and he was always like the grounding force there. I think that it's probably, as silly as it sounds, like the most brilliant bit of casting in that.
Well, here's the deal, and we learned and evolved as we went. We learned that you couldn't write a different character. You had to write Miley. You just wrote by, and you had to write Billy. Billy can't stretch. No offense, he's great, but he's good at being himself in the moment. We just wrote Billy. He was just Billy.
Who's exceptionally charming.
He is exceptionally
on
charming,
the set
and he's really good at that emotional connection. Yeah. Right? He can look you in the eye and you believe he's seeing you. Yeah. Right? And we just wrote to him. Yeah. You know, it was great.
So, which leads to like a lot of stuff that happened during the pilot.
Yeah. Yes. That week. Which I wasn't there, so go ahead.
I know. So the stuff that happened during the pilot that week, I remember, speaking of Billy, was not so Billy had yet to sign his contract.
Oh, really?
For the show. And I remember when we were setting up for the table read, somebody came up to Billy and said, "So what do I call you? Like, do I call you Billy? Do I call you Billy Ray? Do I call you Mr. Cyrus?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's Billy Ray Cyrus!" Like I didn't
know beforehand.
I didn't know. He was sitting at the table, and then I looked, and then I saw Miley's name, and it said Miley Cyrus because it's still the next to Robbie Ray, his name wasn't on the cast list.
Oh, because he hadn't signed his contract.
Because he hadn't signed
so you didn't even know he was cast.
No.
Oh,
you
God.
couldn't officially put his name on the cast list until his contract with Disney was signed.
Oh, my God.
So that was crazy. Right. Until I heard that moment. And then I pull out my phone and I texted my friend who's a huge country music fan. And I was like, "You're never going to believe this. Billy Ray Cyrus is on this show." And then it all made sense. But then I also remember Jason in the hallway practicing with
Fletcher.
Are we going to talk about that now?
No, I'll talk about Fletcher in a little bit.
I'm just setting up setting the table for a character that did not make the pilot because
poor actor had to get fired.
These are my refreshed memories. Like I remember that there was a whole wardrobe discussion around Fletcher. There was a whole discussion about the Hannah wig, and as you discussed, there's money. There isn't a lot of money that gets thrown at a pilot because you don't want to
it's a lost leader. It's money wasted if the pilot doesn't go, and that's why the wig looks like shit.
The wig in the pilot does not look great.
Yeah.
And then,
by the Hannah movie, it was like a $5,000 wig.
We're not talking about that. That doesn't exist.
I remember that we had 15 minutes to shoot the big heart of the scene, which was Miley revealing herself to Lilly. Because we were running up against kid time. It was the end of the shooting day, and in the schedule we shot.
Because you can only have the kids on set for 8 hours,
6 hours,
6 hours,
because you also had school time and stuff like that. And I remember the on-set teacher was like, you gotta go, and it was 15 minutes. It was 7:45. We had to wrap it.
They will literally yoink the kid off this. You could be in the middle of a scene, and a set teacher will walk out, grab the kid, and just be like, "We're done." So,
and then there was that's right. That everybody was screeching at each other. It was amazing. These are my refreshed memories after watching the episode. The Hannah outfit and wig were terrible. Yeah. To quote Lilly, "Eep."
Yeah, rough.
Right, rough. Terrible. Why are they yelling? Why are they yelling? Why are they yelling at each other? And Corbin and his dad were unbelievably nice. Yeah. And Corbin has gone on to have this amazing career on Broadway. He was in Little Shop of Horrors recently.
I worked with him on High School Musical, the series, a couple of years ago, and to run into him again 15 years later, it was literally two long lost friends just being like, "Do you remember? You remember when that thing? Remember the Disney Channel games?" We were, and all the kids that were on that show were big fans of Hannah and High School Musical when they were growing up. Yeah. So they kept seeing us off in the corner goofing off, and they were like, "What is happening?" Their brains were exploding. It was so much fun. It was.
Booger check, which was gross, And I remember that there was like this desire to like do things like that to like make the girls kind of gross or boy friendly, which was like booger check, any bats in the cave, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when you say boyfriend, you mean real?
Boy friendly.
Yeah, it was real. It was a real moment. I love that moment.
Hated that.
But
okay,
it was a
you
real
loved that moment. That's what I'm saying. It was good. You're, as a boy.
How am I right now?
I love that. Like Doug was probably in his, were you 40s in that time?
I was 107
30?
when the pilot.
Well, you were like 107, and I like how you were the expert on like what the teenage girls
boys
were like.
with the-
I didn't say I was an
That's a real
expert. I just said
experience.
I liked it, guys.
Right.
I thought it was real.
Amber and Ashley.
Yeah.
Ooh, I remember Smokin' Oaken. There was like this whole, like, remembering Smokin' Oaken and this, like, trying to figure out who Oliver was as a character. Like, is he this cool kid? Does he think he's cool, but he's really a
Which doesn't work in the pilot, right? Like it
doesn't.
No.
But we bring it back in the second episode, and
Which
much better Smokin' Oaken.
Sort of.
Compared to the pilot.
Yeah, no, believe me.
Much better.
Like, I think it was one of those things where he thought he was way cooler than he actually was.
Yeah.
I remember how, like, watching it, you were so funny. And the way that you were able to, like, I think everybody rose to your level.
Well, I don't think they got all the way to my level.
No, but I'm just saying, they were striving. Like, like the tide brings all the boats up.
That's right.
We talked often throughout the years, for one reason we'll get to later, but we talked often that without Jason on the show, it never would have. The show evolved as it went. The kids learned how to act as it went. We learned how to write as it went. And without Jason there on the stage, no, but it's true. By the way, we got nominated for 4 Emmys and never won. That's Shannon's from Sesame Street.
Okay.
And I made her bring it because I hate her.
Okay, so yes. Okay. Also, the line "I gave you the gift of life, son. Don't push it."
I love those lines. That reminded me of like my dad.
Hilarious.
Yeah, real moments.
Oh my God, the picture of him. If you go back and watch the pilot and look at the pictures that the background actors are holding. They are terrible, and I don't think that they're Miley. I think it's just some generic person in a wig. So there's a little Easter egg for you to go back and look. Oliver's obsession with Hannah's hair, it verges on creepy. Okay, it doesn't even verge on creepy. It's just creepy. I'm gonna wash your hair, your beautiful blonde hair.
I need a shower just from you.
But again, to Mitchell's credit, it is a cartoon. Right?
Yeah.
It's a cartoon moment, but he made it real. I believe that kid in that moment,
but
which made it creepier. Yeah. It 100% made it creepier, but I believe
Here we go.
him.
Here's one.
Okay.
I like to sing. I like to dance,
but I can't do it with poopy in my pants. I shit you not. That moment. I shit you not. That's a good pun.
You didn't even realize you said it.
No, that's how good I am.
All right.
No, I shit you not that moment in that scene, changed my life. The trajectory of my entire life hinges upon that scene. I'll talk about that.
Well, why is that though? Why is that?
We'll get to it. It's in the next little thing.
I don't have much left. That was the first doggies. Doggies. Because like he did the whipped cream. Fermi doing that yippee-ki-yay, and then my skin is like a baby's bottom.
Yeah.
Emily and her long cross to the door. It's hilarious.
Halfway there. I love that. And then actually what's funny is like a little bit of trivia between the pilot and episode 1 or 2, whatever. When we shot the pilot, the living room kitchen, that set was like 30 feet wider than it ended up being on the show. If you, the cross, it was like, you cross from the kitchen to the front door. It was like a 40-minute sprint to get from one end of that set to the other. And then we end up cutting it down. If you look at it in future scenes, it's cutting down. And the reason why we cut it down is because right next to it on the stage was Rico's surf shack. And we built the beach set right next to it. So we repurposed that space.
No, we cut it down so Billy could answer the door if it rang.
It was the longest cross ever.
Okay, we learned never have Billy answer the door.
It's the reason why if you watch me in the show, I literally sprint in and out of every scene.
Yeah.
Like if it's like all right, Miley just want to give me the thing, well, screw you, and then I literally run out of every, because otherwise the cross, it would take you into the next scene.
Right.
Yeah, it was so long, and we had this amount of time.
Yeah.
That's right. Hugs. Oh God, they hated that.
They loved that.
They hated that.
It was their favorite.
They used to make fun of that
you know
all
what?
of the time.
That's a perfect example of a thing where, like, on all these shows, this is something actually on Kicking It that I told the kids when we first started the show up. I was like, if you're reading the script and you see anything that looks like it might become a catchphrase, you better really love the way you deliver it, because they're going to ask you to do it 900 more times forever. 20 years from now, somebody's going to come up to you and ask you to go, Mwah! And
Which
Moises
never
wanted to kill himself. He hated Mwah. Every time he saw it in the script, he was like, I think I'm just going to kill myself. How do I even deliver that?
That what the delivery was, because it was like Mwahaha instead of Mwahaha. Like, it was just trying to get him to do it.
It was one of those super cartoon. But so that was like, Hugs is the perfect example of, like, you read that in the script and you're like, oh shit, is this the rest of my life?
You better tank it in the run through.
No, do everything we wrote exactly the way we wrote it.
You know what? Okay. I used to, this is a little bit like of a sidetrack, but like the thing that I used to do all the time in scripts was I would read my stuff and I'd be like, this is so dumb. And I'm gonna do this so over the top that they're gonna see how freaking dumb this is. And then I would go so far over the top that it actually got funny. And then they wouldn't rewrite it. And then I was like, how did this stay in the script? That was my entire experience. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you remember?
The last thing is also just the closet, like how beautiful the closet looked and how beautifully the closet played and how that
was the dream.
Right. So Jason, what's your?
So all of this stuff I remember and feel all of this stuff. For me, there was a couple of like overriding things in that pilot. One, I was fighting tremendous imposter syndrome. Everybody in that cast, it doesn't like I knew Billy Ray. I grew up with like Achy Breaky Heart and his music. My parents watched his show Doc. That doctor show he did in Canada. Not great, but my parents loved it, and I watched a bunch of it with my parents. Emily Osment, Famous Family, her brother Haley Joel, she had done movies before. Everybody had these resumes, and I had done a couple of little things, but I just felt like so out of place and so afraid I was going to get replaced.
Right.
So there was like this overwhelming tension for me. The other reason is because originally Jackson my character was stupid. I would kill to get my hands on an original version of that pilot. Oh, God. Because what Shannon was alluding to earlier is originally Jackson was incredibly introverted. He didn't know how to deal with the success of his sister. And so the only way he interacted with anybody in the world was through this orangutan hand puppet.
It's true.
The aforementioned
Fletcher. And
Fletcher.
It was stupid. I almost didn't audition for the pilot because I was like, one, this is so dumb. I don't want to spend the next 4 years of my life with my arm shoved halfway up an orangutan's butt. Like, that is not the life I want to live. And even if I do this, nobody's going to watch this trash. Right. And my career is, I'll make a couple of bucks, a few bucks, not very many bucks.
Disney bucks.
I'll make some Disney bucks.
They'll pay in churros and popcorn.
Churros and popcorn, but not park tickets.
No, that's a whole different thing.
Okay. Anyway, but I was like, my career's gonna just like start over after this. Like nobody will ever know this happened. And it was so much to the point that my agent's basically like, you're a dumbass. Like, is your career going so well that you can turn auditions down? And I was like, you got me there. So I went, and for my audition, I did a sock puppet. And I just drew two eyes on it and pushed the mouth in. Mm-hmm. And I literally just rolled in there with the sock puppet. And I was like, my name is Fletcher, and you're an idiot. Like, that was literally like what the audition was. And somehow they loved me. And I think it's because I didn't give a shit.
And now why did it get changed?
Okay, so I went through the whole process, ended up casting. Mm-hmm. For the first 70% of rehearsals for the pilot, I was trying to make Fletcher work. I worked with an actual puppeteer for weeks, like working on make facial expressions and the physicality, the whole thing. And it was that scene in the kitchen where Miley's upset with Lilly, mm-hmm. and we're having ice cream, and Billy Ray and I are just goofing off. And for whatever reason, I did not have Fletcher in that scene. He was just sitting in the chair next to me.
During run-throughs, not during
run-throughs, like 3 days before we were supposed to shoot this.
That late. Oh, geez.
Yeah. And so Miley sits there, and Billy Ray's like, na 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 na. You had a fight, like, and did the song, and then we did the.
You got the processed sugar blues.
Like, and I just did that with Billy Ray, and it was like, and it was funny. And then the next one is, I like to sing, I like to dance, but I can't do it with poopy in my pants. And like, we were just making fun of each other. It was such a great, real scene with a real family. Even though she was a pop star, the most famous teenager on the planet, it was a real girl with a real problem, with a real obnoxious brother and a dad who gave a shit.
Right.
And immediately they were like, that's the
And that's the magic I saw.
That's the character. That's
Right.
the guy. That's
Yeah.
he absolutely doesn't. He's not impressed at all with his sister. Obviously, he's going to use the connections to try to like pick up. Like it all made so much more sense. And like 3 days before we shot the pilot, they completely rewrote all of my stuff.
All of those asterisks down the side of the script.
And if it wasn't for the rehearsal, that scene, literally, I think. Do you believe in the butterfly effect? Mm-hmm. I think there is a strange universe where we don't change Fletcher. I'm using the orangutan puppet in that pilot. People watch the show and they go, this is fucking stupid. And nobody watches it, right? It lasts a season, it goes away. There's no Miley Cyrus. She does not pop off because nobody watches Hannah Montana. Like, the entire universe is completely different if I'm not so funny that they got rid of the orangutan hand puppet.
I mean,
No, I say that, and it's not true. It's not true. She absolutely would have broke out, and they just would have written me off the show.
Yep.
At the end of the day. Yep. But I do like to.
But look, and to defend the creatives back, in the writers' room for a minute. I wasn't there, but we learn and adapt and take swings too.
Yeah.
Right. And the good ones will admit their own mistakes.
Yeah.
I think we did this throughout the entire series. Is we would see something, and we would realize we're the problem. It's not you as an actor. It is not that we as writers are the problem. We have to do better.
Yeah,
and that was a moment
we said
where
that a lot on stage.
Yeah. Am I bleeding? where we realized that it was the writing that was the problem.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to just you got to kill your babies.
Of
and
all the things I've ever worked on,
love.
I think this show did the best job of like recognizing what people were good at and then writing to it, letting us play to our strengths.
And also, we should remember too that like the people who wrote the people who came on to help punch up the pilot were writers from a show in the 90s called Murphy Brown. Yeah. And Murphy Brown was an incredibly strong female lead, and it was based on a newsroom, but she was so fallible. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, she was such a real person, and the people around her were kind of cartoonish, and so like just keeping that in mind, like as far as like as who these people were that definitely were.
Are you saying that Hannah Montana is the teenage Murphy Brown?
I'm absolutely not.
Okay, all right. That's how it was pitched, by the way. It's Murphy Brown, but with a pop star.
So then the last thing, like, is for me, like the overriding thing that was going on for me is I was desperately afraid that I was going to be fired and recast because I had a big secret.
Oh. Disney, do you want to know the secret about Jason?
Yeah. So when I auditioned for the show, I lied to them and told them I was 18 years old.
Yes, you did.
It was another reason why I almost didn't audition for the show because I was like, I'm too old. Right. Like the character's 16. Nobody's gonna buy it, And what's funny is Lisa London, who cast it, when she brought me in, she was like, hey, I know you're 19, because I had lied to her in a different audition. And she was like, would you be okay when you go in there, they're trying to cast it as close to age as possible, would you lie and tell them that you're 18? And I was like, I think I can do that. And so I went into the audition, and everybody thought I was 18, and it wasn't until halfway through the first season.
I know. I think it was about episode like eight
or so.
8 or so that I didn't find out till like episode 8.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the network found out later than I did.
No, it was right around then because I remember one of the higher up network executives showed up on show night and he was like, hey, so you're 28.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am. Yeah. And he's like, and so you're married? And I was like, yeah, that girl that I keep making out with. Yeah, that's why. And he was like, any more secrets? Anything we should know? And I was like, no. He's like, you don't have any? Do you have any kids? Yeah. And I was like, no kids. He's like, let's go ahead and keep that way for a few years. And I was like, absolutely, of course.
Didn't they say Flat out, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad.
So Steve Peterman, who was our glorious executive producer and showrunner on the show, a mentor of mine, a man who I truly love, he did say after he found out, he was like, he's like, thank you so much for lying to us, because we would have gotten nervous if we had found out during the pilot, and we would have recast you.
Right.
And since we're kind of pot committed now, 8 episodes in, you know, it actually ended up working out for the best. But
that back to the show would never have been the show without you.
Yeah.
It's because you were an adult on stage. The kids thought you were a kid.
Yeah.
They treated you
and
like
I
a
acted
kid.
like a kid. I mean, I was like, we all get to about 16 years old and we stop maturing anyway. And so it was fun to sort of get to go and re-experience.
But they respected you. You were one of them.
Yeah.
So when you led by example, you know, discipline and doing your homework and doing that stuff, they followed because it was another one of them. Without you, Hannah wouldn't have been Hannah. The show wouldn't have been the show without that lie.
You should tell more people that.
That would be. We're telling the world.
Telling everybody now.
Doug and I would like to say, Hannah Montana would not have been Hannah Montana without Jason Earles.
Clip that.
Without
clip
the big lie.
Clip that.
Okay.
So we're gonna sort of like start to land the plane here a little bit. We're going to talk about what we did right, what we did wrong, and what we would have done differently on the show. For me, getting rid of the puppet, 100% the right thing to do. And I think that probably the biggest strength of the pilot is we did an excellent job of establishing these characters.
Absolutely.
I knew exactly who everybody was without it feeling like we were laying a bunch of random pipe, but it was like I knew what the relationship between Miley and Emily was. I knew what the relationship between me and Miley was. I knew that Billy Ray was an excellent single dad and our mom was dead, which... is like an important bit of...
it was just a line.
It was a single line.
Your mom would have been so proud of you.
A beautiful, without having to do a whole exposition about whatever. Yes. I think the show did a masterful job.
Agreed.
Of just letting us know exactly what this world is.
And also, can I just pile on here for 1 second and say, too, that it was clear that they had just moved to Malibu, because that for whatever we never needed to know the why of moving to Malibu, which I think we got into later.
We got into later.
But like, because it showed that Miley and Lilly were connected enough to like be best friends, but not so much that this moment of Hannah Montana wouldn't have come up before the moment in the pilot, like. Because that's kind of one of those like, oh, who's your favorite band or who's your thing? That it was like they were still good enough friends, but not so close that they didn't know like certain other things about each other, like just some information that they would have known about.
What else did we do right?
What else? Yeah, what else, Dougie?
Well, for me, it was the construction, right? It was 2 things, and again, from my seeing it for that first time, it was the construction of the pilot was really well done. Kudos. And then the other thing was the casting. It was casting Billy, right? Again, going back to that real father-daughter moment was a real father-daughter, right? And the network also wanted, here was another thing that was special about the casting. She was a singer. Miley could sing. Yeah. She really was. We made Hannah Montana into her, right? They insisted that it was cast by someone who could really do that. Yeah. Not as just an actor who they'd make pretend to sing or pretend to play the guitar or fake it. Like, they really wanted someone who could do that. And they cast an actress who may not have been as seasoned as an actress, but really was a pop star. And the thing that they did right was that decision, when you see her, she's not the greatest actress in the world. She makes everything charming.
So charming.
And she's a star. You can't take your eyes off her. Yeah. It was that decision to go with her, I think, that was the thing that was done right.
I think so.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then getting Lee Shamel
to
direct it was, to me, she had been a director on Murphy Brown, but she was also a big-time network director on a lot of different shows, and had also directed the pilot of Sweet Life and That's So Raven, and then later went on to direct the pilot of Sunny with a Chance.
She was great. She was so so calming. I remember just like it was a very stable presence on set. When we were all, it was our first time doing this sitcom format, and trying to find the funny and like not be embarrassed about doing the silly things we were doing. And she was just so great at like helming the ship. As the writer, yeah.
But more importantly, more fun.
What do we do wrong?
What do we do wrong?
Okay,
Why do we do wrong?
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
This
So,
is fun.
so
Yeah.
this is going to be an ongoing theme the entire run of this show. We immediately have internal logic issues with the secret identities. It is a farking mess. So riddle me this: if she's famous enough. Right, the blonde wig is the thing that hides her identity. If she's famous enough that she's in movies, she's on magazines, you see her on TV, and the only thing hiding her identity is the blonde wig. Why the fork do we do the pie in the face bit? How would Lilly ever?
You know what's the funny thing too is you mentioned that her wig was not off.
Her wig is on in that scene. She has a headband on, but she 100% is wearing the wig.
She's wearing the wig,
but she's
Nope.
She has a headband.
She has a headband on, like it's pushed back. You could
easily. I remember it being,
No, it is.
I just watched it.
okay.
It is.
I agree with you.
Wig is
and so immediately I'm just like, why did we do the pie in the bit face? Other than it's a Disney show, and now we're doing like pie in the face.
One thing from the pilot that did not get extended is, and I remember this distinctly from the stage directions, is she is wearing her blonde wig and her signature sunglasses. There was she was supposed to be wearing sunglasses the whole time, and those obviously.
That was going to be our Clark Kent glasses. Okay.
Explodes.
And why the F does Jackson know Hannah Montana?
Right. None of this stuff makes sense.
There's a million things that I'm. And Fermin, who is her stylist, shows up in one episode, is at the house while she's Miley, not just Hannah Montana.
That's a difference.
And we never. So there's this random dude. Who's just
so,
out in the wind who already knows the secret from episode 1.
I feel like the people who knew Hannah Montana also knew that she was Miley.
Not Lilly.
That she was Miley.
Not Lilly.
No.
Well, except for Lilly.
Okay, so we had problems. We tried to fix. Remember we talked about growing and changing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
Or did you have more problems?
No.
You want to pile on?
I want to hear your problems.
My problem was Fermin.
Fermin, yeah.
And it was okay. First, no offense to the actor.
He's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
But the way he played that part was a cartoon, right? He was two-dimensional. And the thing that bothered me most, and we'll get into this when we talk about the neighbor Danzig, which shows up later.
Yeah.
We were so afraid to create a gay character on a kids' television show.
Yeah.
As a society.
It was 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Just remember the world we lived in. So the mistake I think that was made, and the thing that bugged me the most, is that we made him a stereotype. All of his humor came from his gay and swishiness, which I think is horrific to me. It is like the biggest mistake you can make.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is just an insult. Whereas Danzig, who wasn't a gay character, but I always thought he was gay in my head, he plays that character, and the humor of Danzig comes from his persnicketiness, not his gayness.
One of the best guest casts
he's
in
fantastic.
The entire run of the show.
So, but it's also written different.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, in defense of the secret identity, if kids went along with Superman, wearing just a hat as Clark Kent,
I buy the Superman theory of it all. It was more just like
the world around her,
and the logic of something like if the blonde wig works, why doesn't it work in the dressing room, and why do you need to pie her face? So what would we do different? For me, I really wouldn't change much. I mean, there is the Fermin issue, maybe a little bit more thoughtfulness, or realizing what of a sticky wicket we were getting into with the secret identity later, maybe being a little more deliberate in the beginning. But I mean, it's a great foundation for the show.
I would work on the secret identity. The secret identity, I think, would establish differently. But I'm the logic police when it comes to that, and people in that creative environment back there in the writers' room hated me for that, and sometimes I had to lose battles in order to win others. So, it goes back to that secret identity logic for me. I would change that.
And me looking back on it, there wasn't a lot. There isn't a lot that I would change, especially seeing those girls run into the closet. Like, that to me was everything. I was like, this is going to be kids aren't stupid. But also, if you present a good enough story, they're going to go along with the ride. Right.
Okay, so here at the end, I have a couple of audience questions that I got on my Instagram. Rodrigo_S1997 asked, were there any episodes recorded that didn't air? Much love from Portugal. Wanted to highlight that we're global.
Yeah. We have a global audience.
So there wasn't, right? But kind of.
Yeah,
right, Dougie?
actually, there was.
Like it aired once, and then we yoinked it, and then we changed it. What was the?
Oh well, are you talking about the
Diabetes
the
one?
diabetes?
Yeah,
one.
diabetes.
Yeah, well, yeah, the one where Oliver was eating all the candy at Tracy's party, right? Yeah. He had the beaties, right?
Yeah.
He had the beaties, and we didn't deal with it in a way that apparently the American Diabetes Society felt was appropriate.
Yeah.
So, and that was in between seasons, so we had to pick it up at the beginning of the next season.
Yes.
We reshot pieces of that episode.
We reshot the whole party.
The whole party scene
Yeah.
on the beach.
Yeah.
We reshot. Yeah.
So that original episode doesn't like exist out in the ether anymore.
No,
right?
no.
It's just the updated.
And I
version.
believe.
And we had to put a hat on him because of his hair.
It was a wig. There was a completely different hair thing.
yeah.
And I remember that Disney pitched it as From the Vault.
Yeah, something.
Because this was before, because by the time we reshot it, Lilly and Oliver were dating each other then. And this was like From the Vault was how they they had that whole Disney Channel like vault opening, and this is a From the Vault episode.
Peyton's Jen asked, would you improvise a lot on the show, or did you follow the script mostly? Your scenes were pretty much with everyone pretty much always seem so natural and incredibly funny. Thank you. Who picked these questions?
It's the first I've seen of these questions, guys.
From my perspective, I remember we really did try to be pretty good about doing the script,
100%.
but there was wiggle room. There was times where we would get to the end of a scene and they wouldn't yell cut, and you would just kind of keep going until it.
That was the Arrested Development
My
moment.
favorite two moments on this show deal with you and coming off script.
Yeah.
And one of them made it on camera. The pudding, where you fell in the pudding.
Oh, yeah.
And you crossed.
I covered in pudding. I went out to Billy and I was like, "How about a hug?" And he's like, "Oh no!" And then I started chase him out, and I slip and fall. All that stuff is improv at the end.
Of a scene, And I laugh every time I even think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then my other one was one you went off script we didn't keep, which was when Roxy was being your mom. And you said, "You're not my mom." You said, "My mom's dead."
Yeah, I was notorious for dead mom jokes as my improvs.
100%.
There was one where Billy Ray's scolding me.
We had an audience
he
for
goes,
that show.
for the other one, for the Roxy one?
Yeah.
There was an audience for this one too. Billy Ray was like, "Your mom would be so disappointed in you." And I was like, "Dad, she's been dead for 3 years. Turn the page." And the audience was like, "What is happening?" You watched. Did you notice us improving a lot, or we stuck pretty close to?
No, I think everybody stuck.
Yeah.
There are some things though that Miley did that we kept, or that Emily did. There were some times that there were the little ways that they said stuff, or little phrases that they used that we would latch on to.
Yeah.
I think one of the things too is that even if they did, because a lot of the things a lot of people probably know this, but in the opening title sequence, Miley doing the laugh after the spin.
It's her goofing, right?
Was a goof.
Yeah.
Was not what was supposed to happen. Yeah. So the ha 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 in the title sequence is actually
just Miley
being Miley. Which is a song.
I think that happened a lot. In the
show. No, it did.
Yeah.
And we would, but the thing is, we would identify it and grab it.
Yeah.
And then start
100%.
writing it in other stuff because it was great.
Kim Udelwitz asked, "Do you expect the show to be as popular as it was / still is when you first were cast?" I didn't. I thought it was going to be the end of my entire career because of the Fletcher stuff, which we talked about. All right, so here we are at the end. Doug, the title of our episode was
Disney. Do you want to know a secret about Jason? And I think we discovered that secret, which is
what that is.
He was 47 years old when he was cast in the show.
People always would be like, "What was it like being 35 playing a 16-year-old?" And I'm like, "I'm 35 now. I was not 35 when I was recording the thing."
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are at the end.
This was about.
Give us a tag.
Okay. So this episode was about revealing a secret. Mm-hmm. Jason, what was the biggest secret you ever kept from someone?
My entire life from the world for about 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you used to go to Dodger games and have a beer and people would look at you.
I remember going to dinner with my wife at the time and people coming up and saying, "You must be so proud of your son."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, all right, sex is off the table tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that." Yeah.
What about you?
I think the biggest secret that I kept in show related was the fact that I thought I knew what I was doing the very first time I directed my episode of television for Hannah Montana. I thought that I knew what I was doing, and then the biggest secret I kept was being able to say I don't know, like not wanting to say I don't know.
Right. No, I think that's normal. I still have imposter syndrome. Like
every day.
Yeah. Just.
But you were fantastic. We loved you so much as our everyday stable presence on set as the acting coach, like the dialogue coach, acting coach. Like you were our rock in that way. So when you finally stepped up and started directing, we wanted you to succeed so bad. And because you carried that same sort of supportive, prepared thing, we were all on board. And your episodes were a joy to work on.
Thank you, Jason.
I don't remember what any of them were, but
I can tell you what all of them were.
No, I know but you were our favorite. We don't have time for that. We'll do that later.
Biggest secret?
I have a different way to go with this question, a more teen way to go with this question. When I was a late teen, and my friends, if any of them are watching this, are gonna kill me. We were all friends, and my friend had a girlfriend, and then she went away to college, and then when she would come back for the summer, they had broken up, and then when she came back for the summer, she wanted to hang out, but my friend had broken up with her, so he didn't want to hang out with her anymore. So I hung out with her, and I was secretly sleeping with one of my best friend's ex-girl. He knows now, and he's forgiven me. No, but the sort of teen drama was it was casual. It wasn't like boyfriend girlfriend thing. She would come back for the summer. We would sleep together.
Scandalous, okay.
Yeah, it was scandalous. And I had kept that from my entire friend group for years until he came up to us one day. It was a big party, and we saw the two of them. They wouldn't speak to each other for years. And then the two of them were talking. And then the next day he said, oh my God, guys, guess what happened last night? And they had hooked up. So I had to then come clean to everybody that for the last 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Scandalous.
So that was I think that was the biggest teen secret I ever kept.
So this is what I would say too.
Yes.
What's your biggest secret that you ever kept that had to be finally revealed? Put it in the comments.
Anybody wants to air their dirty laundry in the comments below, just get right on that.
Just saying, obviously, it's not a secret anymore. The secret came out in this episode. So what was the secret that you were forced to tell?
I like that. Seriously, thank you guys for hanging out with us. This has been a real joy. We hope to do a ton of these. Honestly, it's fun for us. We want to share our stories with you guys. So I don't have to explain the algorithm to you. You know what to do. Smash all the buttons. Like, subscribe, comments, follow our socials. It'll all be in the description below. Do the thing. Help us out, and we'll keep making these as long as you guys keep watching them. So I think that's
That was amazing.
Much it.
Thank you.
Thank
you for spending some time with us. Well,
that's it. Go enjoy the rest of the party.
Good day, Daddy. That's it. Good day.
It's the best.